Welcome back, everybody. It's your pal Orange Hat here. Here to bring you a video about the Acolyte and how it has been canceled. Now, everybody's reporting on the numbers and other channels, but I actually want to report on, well, the reactions to the Acolyte being canceled. And the reason why the Acolyte was canceled was because it didn't do well, and didn't bring in enough profit. The numbers didn't add up. Now, if you want to watch Drunk 3PO or any of those other guys to get the numbers, go ahead. But I want to go over some of the Renew the Acolyte reactions here. And some of them are pretty funny, some of them are normal and whatnot. Thank you, Leslie, for daring to tell a different story. Well, that's the main problem, folks. The Acolyte failed not because somebody dared to tell a different story, but because somebody told a story that was used as a personal therapy session. She told this story as a therapy session, folks. Inherent sexism was the reason why Saul did what he did. Him saying it's okay as Osha kills her or kills him takes away from her and stuff like that. These are things she's said in interviews. They can never make me hate you. The entire cast did a wonderful job and deserves a season 2. Now, these people are entitled to their opinions. I am not going to denigrate their opinions. I'm not going to insult them in any way. They're entitled to their opinions. We finally get a new Sith, and with that, some of the most badass lightsaber fights we've seen in years. Okay. With an actor who did most of his own stunts. I will say that Manny Jacinto, or Jacinto, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Manny. I'll just call him Manny. I think that he actually did a very good job in his acting. I am not one of the people who will blind bash the show. I actually gave this show an objective breakdown during my weekly recaps with Kate. Acolyte gave cohesive storytelling, a fresh new villain, was canon accurate. No, it wasn't. And gave us a doorway. And the fact that you also have to use all caps to push was canon accurate tells me that you are defending something you can't really defend very well. And gave us a door to the era of Plagueis that could have led to the rise of Palpatine on screen. Except here's the thing. We've already seen the rise of Palpatine on screen. Not to mention that Plagueis, at this time of the timeline, was only 20 years old. He hadn't even been wronged by the galaxy. And that was a main staple for the rule of two Sith. They wanted to choose people who had been wronged by the galaxy in one way or another. Expansion on the Star Wars universe is needed, but dumbass fan can't grasp shit. Okay, so you're coming at us. I'll come at you and say, how was this canon accurate exactly? How was it canon accurate? Why? Because Plagueis was in it. Plagueis was 20 years old. He wasn't even a Sith apprentice yet. I believe he didn't become a Sith apprentice until he was in his 30s. So, yeah, there's that. You have the Cortosis, sure, but the Cortosis wasn't shorting out a plasma arc welder, which it should have. You see, they cherry-picked stuff, but they didn't get it completely correct. Doesn't work that way. And then having characters who weren't even alive extending their species life or their species longevity and making them Jedi Masters before they were even Jedi Masters doesn't work. The Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. Everybody says, oh, Ki-Adi-Mundi knew about the Sith before Episode 1. No, he didn't. I will defend that statement. No, he didn't. They never showed a red lightsaber in those holograms or in those holo recordings. Not to mention, they never talked about a Sith. So, yeah, that doesn't work. That's a straw man argument that doesn't work. However, having him as a Jedi Master during this time is inaccurate. So it's not canon accurate, because in episode 1, Ki-Adi-Mundi was a Jedi Knight. He hadn't taken Padawans. He was just named to the council. They had just named him previously to the council. And he joined the Jedi Council as a Jedi Knight, not a Master. They deserve better. Then why didn't they make better? The Acolyte is being canceled is just another example of toxic internet hate. No, it is not. The show never got a chance to breathe, and half the people hating on it never even watched an episode. It's not my favorite piece of Star Wars content, but it certainly didn't deserve to be axed. Yes, it did. You don't reward failure. The movie didn't provide enough numbers of people watching. It didn't provide enough hours watched to make any sort of top ratings. It didn't do well. So yeah, the ratings basically said this show failed. You don't reward failure. I mean, y'all love to be Sith fans. Do you think Darth Vader would reward failure? No, he killed his subordinates if they failed him. So this show was killed. Like a Sith would do. Nothing's perfect, but many people hated the show that had shit like this. I'll never know. Maybe it's because there was so many things wrong with the show besides just a flashy lightsaber fight or 2 flashy lightsaber fights. 1, why are there sparks coming off of a lightsaber? Look at episodes 1 through 6. Do you see sparks coming off those lightsabers? No. That's because that doesn't happen. So why are lightsabers suddenly different in this era? And also in the sequel era as well. Not to mention that fight there with that is basically saying we can do Matrix level stuff and we could do force floating in the middle of battle. It doesn't work. The Acolyte fans, Disney Star Wars fans, dude, bro. Yeah. It's like, dude, here's the thing. That's not the Acolyte fandom right now. You guys don't understand that Disney made a business decision that's best for it. If they would have gone forward, if Leslie Headland would have covered Darth Plagueis, she would have ruined it. She would have destroyed it. Save the Acolyte. Today we are met with the devastating news that Lucasfilm and Disney canceled the Acolyte. But that doesn't mean fans can't still try to save the Acolyte. It's never too late to save the Acolyte. It is. They canceled it. There's no season 2, folks. People are just going to have to live with it. Me, after seeing the Acolyte fandom starting the Save the Acolyte, Renew the Acolyte hashtags. The Acolyte has been canceled after 1 season. Star Wars continues to fold under the pressure of the worst, smallest, loudest part of the fan base. This is so wildly disappointing. Such a shameful move on Disney's part to abandon great stories and storytellers because of trolls. The Acolyte deserves better. People like who, exactly? What fans are the worst, smallest, and loudest? Because it was the worst, smartest, and the worst, smallest, and loudest that actually led to a show like The Acolyte. You guys were all the ones that were saying, oh, it's so great! Except here's the thing. Objective fans who know the lore would disagree with you. Justice for Amandla. Why? What happened to her? Thing is, folks, she attacked fans during the show's release. She attacked fans, calling them racist simply for having a different opinion than or other than her own. She attacked fans. You get what you frickin' deserve. Blocking everyone who says Acolyte was bad and doesn't need a second season. Gotta protect my peace. Well, that's your fragility. That's your fragility. Renew the Acolyte. Reposting these again to say renew the Acolyte. The people who started this story deserve to tell its end, even if it's not through another season. Go animated. Pretty sure you could do it then. Go animated. Less of a hassle, less cost even. You don't have to pay the actors for acting, you only have to pay them for using their voice. Star Wars gave us one of the most enigmatic, compelling, and sexiest villains since the prequels. And they just fucking snatch it away from all of us. No, it's not. You can watch it on Disney Plus. You can still watch it. So what are you bitching about? Because some losers got mad about POC and women being in the show? That's not what people were mad about. Maybe you had like 1 or 2% of people who were actual bigots and hatred, racists and shit like that. But no, you actually had people looking at it objectively, looking at it lore-wise, looking at it and going at it not from blind hatred, but from actual observation and analysis. People like me, and during my weekly recaps over the release of each episode. So yeah, we weren't mad because, POCs and this and that. Nobody gives a shit about what color skin you have. Nobody gives a shit about your sexual orientation. All of those glass ceilings were broke before Disney even got the franchise. Hate to break it to you, Disney has not yet broken a single glass ceiling since they've gotten Star Wars. They haven't. If you look at the original EU content, you will know gay characters, people of color, that was in the fucking original trilogy, and so many others. Glass floors were already broken. Yes, Nerderotic. We need a season 2 of The Acolyte. Oh my god, Nerderotic. That's Nerderotic trolling. Me, after hearing the Acolyte cancellation news. Somebody needs to check on Terry Haig because it's suggesting that this man is about to kill himself. Wellness check this guy. Terry Haig, yeah, wellness check him. Holy crap. The Acolyte has been canceled after 1 season. This is how you know when you're making a mistake. Elon is happy with your decision. Yeah. No, they don't need to. They, or everybody, now, folks, here's the thing. Y'all are complaining, that's fine. You are allowed to say anything you want. And renew the Acolyte. You're allowed to have your opinions. I'm not going to take that away from you. However, I am going to point out, this show is not getting renewed due to the numbers. Now, you can go to all those other channels, search the numbers and whatnot. You can go to Bounding Into Comics. They have an accurate report on the numbers. But the Acolyte was canceled because it didn't perform well. And it's because of the content therein that it didn't perform well. You had bad choreography in some of those fights. You had good choreography in some of those fights. Objectively speaking, Manny, what's his name? Jacinto? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name right. He had the best acting. The actor Saul had some of the good acting in the beginning half of the episode or the arc, but then in the later half where he becomes this asshole, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It's a completely tonal shift. Doesn't work. Having or making the Jedi basically pull a Batman Gordon style cover up doesn't work. Especially if you have Master Yoda still alive during this time period, or Master Yoda who can sense the subtlest shifts in the Force. Do you think that 8 Jedi getting slaughtered by a dark side user, a Sith, would not cross his attention? He would sense that. So this whole show destroys the entire continuity. Because he would have sensed there is a very dark presence rising in the galaxy 100 years before the Sith were confirmed to be back. It doesn't work. So yes, it is just, well, shocking and devastating Star Wars news today. So many plot threads left unanswered. Darth Plagueis, the tie between Vernestra and Chimere, Osha's turn to the dark side. So many more stories to tell. Except they didn't do well. They really canceled one of their best shows. This is heartbreaking. I'm sorry, folks, but you all trying to get this show renewed, it ain't gonna work. And they didn't, or when they were on the rating system, they weren't top ratings. No, they were in the bottom half of a 10 or out of 10 ratings. They were like in 7th. And then after the 3rd episode, completely dropped off. I'm sorry, that 3rd episode was terrible. And so was the penultimate episode that was terrible as well, because it was basically the same episode, just told from a couple different angles. So yeah, folks, you're trying to sell shit, but you're trying to put powdered sugar on it and say that it was good. I'm sorry, that's the most apt description that I can give at this moment off the top of my head. But yes, y'all can try to renew the Acolyte if you want with a hashtag on next. But it was destroyed because, or it was axed because it didn't perform as it needed to. You don't reward failure. That's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think it should be renewed? Do you think it should be saved? Do you think it should just fade into obscurity? Let me know your thoughts, folks. Different opinions are welcome if they are civil. Anyway, this has been Orange Hat. Y'all have a wonderful day, and always remember to stay humble.